Okay, we finished up a few of our things we wanted to do for the morning to wake up a little bit. We're already kind of talking about my build and about add-ons and stuff. Always lots of questions about add-ons. Try to keep you guys up to date on those. But let's dive on into what I'm currently doing with my Prot warrior. Again, Prot is kind of a new thing for me, but it has definitely allowed me to get dungeons while leveling and then blast heroics and stuff. So it's been a pretty fun thing to try, and I feel like the gameplay is actually pretty active. You're pressing a lot of buttons, and you're constantly kind of playing threat whack-a-mole. You're definitely active, so it's been fun. It's been cool. I was like, yeah, I'll just, you know what, fine, I'll just tank dungeons while leveling, it'll be fine, but I'm not doing heroics. Not tanking those are crazy. And then we started taking heroics. I was like, oh, I guess this is all right. Yeah, and now we're looking forward to Karazhan tonight after our heroics. So this will be our first Karazhan tonight. Actually planning to raid with Pico, which is insane. That'll be super fun. We used to game together back in the day. We haven't gamed together in a bit, but we did do a pretty sweet heroic run the other day. And I was like, you know what? Let's keep it going, so we will. I wanted to go over my build and gear before Kara, because it kind of represents like a big starting point. I think we showed my gear after leveling, and then before starting heroics. So this is our gear now after doing a bunch of heroics and before Kara. So pretty dang cool. Pretty dang cool. And yeah, I understand. Yeah, I thought so, Cthulhu. I thought so. We'll talk about that in a little bit though. First things first, I like it over my gear, but yeah, you know what, whatever. The talent window's open, or the gear window's open. Let's have a look. Great Helm of the Unbreakable. This is from Shattered Hall's Heroic. It's great. The Necklace of the Juggernaut gives Stam Agi defense. And this is from the Badges of Justice. Now here's the deal. Really what I'm looking for on my Prot guy is getting 490 defense. Which, that gives you like uncritable or something from raid bosses. So it's like, okay, that's just an important breakpoint that I've understood they need to hit. And then I'm trying to get as much hit as I can. Expertise is a little bit thin, but more expertise would be cool. You want to be able to hit the boss to, you know, get threat, and you want to be able to not get destroyed by the boss with defense. And then past that, more armor is great. And I'm trying to make sure that I have some stats that I can do damage with to keep threat. Because I think a lot of people playing Prot Warrior are realizing that threat as a warrior may be your biggest challenge, whereas defensiveness is actually kind of okay. You have like Thunderclap, you have Demo Shout, you have Shield Block, which makes you uncrushable apparently when you block, which is cool. So I'm trying to get some threat while maintaining my defense. So get your defense up and then start working on damage is kind of been my idea. So anyway, that's Badges of Justice. These come from the Auchenai Crypts Heroic. Got some nice sockets in them, and in a lot of situations I am trying to make sure that I have like blue gear with sockets, even over the epic gear. The epic gear that's like strength, agility, stamina plus defense is sick, and I'll probably use those at some point when I get them. But right now I think it's important to have the sockets so that you can have your hit rating, because without the sockets, like if you just put on purple shoulders with tri-stats defense, it's cool, but where are you getting your hit from? So that's kind of what I'm thinking with those. Devil Shark Cape, this is just good old Steam Vaults. Not actually heroic, I don't think it has to be, but that's cool. We've got Breastplate of the Bold, which drops off in the Arcatraz. Does not require heroic either. So some of these are farmable even in non-heroic, which is nice. Again, 3 sockets. You put some hit in there. I got it enchanted with health at the moment. There's a cheaper enchant than stats. We've got the Shatari Wrought Arm Guards, which are cool. Again, you could get better than this. These just come from a quest, I believe. But the reason I'm using those is because of the socket. Nice hit rating on those. Now, I probably actually could use these. If I had a little bit more defense, I could put on the Marshal's Plate Bracers. And I think that resilience works in a similar way to crit, or sorry, to defense. But I'm just gonna use these for now, unless somebody instructs me that I really don't need to worry about defense if I have the resil. But it just looks nice to have 490 anyway. But those are a possibility for sure. We have Gauntlets of the Bold, which are again socketed with a bunch of hit. They have A little bit of defense. There are gloves that you can get much more defense with, like the fell steel gloves that I'm trying to craft a bazillion of to make, you know, get 375 blacksmithing to make Deep Thunder. But yeah, that's what I'm using for right now for the hit. I am using one tri-stat defense piece, but it's because I didn't get the belt from Quagmiran yet, which does have sockets, which I could put more hit in. But this will do for now. It is cool. Once we get my, you know, some Kara gear and can supplement our stuff with more hit, then we can start equipping more things like this, which would be awesome. Leg plates of the Bold. There are leg plates that have like strength, stam sockets, and I might use those. I haven't set them up yet, but I might. Put a bunch of gems in there, put the leg enchant on there, and let it rip. But for now, that's fine. Gives me good defense, a little bit of agility for crit, which is just, you know... Well, agility is also dodge and armor, but it's also crit, so I can have a little bit better threat. We are using the PvP boots here, but again, the boots from the Mana Tombs have not dropped yet, so... Those would be the Mana Tombs boots that have the sockets, the blue you know, blue with sockets is mostly what I'm looking for. But whatever. This gives me crit, big stam, Brazil is fine, but I don't think we can be crit anyway. Same thing with this. This just gives me a little bit of hit, crit, attack power. So not a particularly defensive ring. Eventually, if the ring that gives me hit and defense drops from Mana Tombs, I could use that over this. Just a little bit more hit and defense would be fine. But I mean, attack power is like, you know, a lot of stam. That'll work. This comes from Badges of Justice. And this is armor, stam, defense. This, we did one heroic Blood Furnace run, and it dropped this. It was crazy. We gotta put that on YouTube for you guys. 30 hit is massive. That's helping my hit so much. I was using the green trinket from Terakar questing until this. But yeah, that's massive. The armor ignore is cool, but yeah, I mostly just want it for the hit. And then we have a defense trinket from Shadow Labs, which is nice. Propping up my defense, gives me some armor on use. Very cool. If I didn't need the hit or the defense, I might just use like a stamina trinket from Underbog, but this will do for now. In terms of weapons, our first ever heroic we did, it dropped the Sun Eater in Mechanar. So cool. This is awesome, but I could also very easily use the Honor's Call weapon from Honor Hold Exalted. I think that gives you like defense and hit, which is kind of insane to think about. The hit from that would be really nice, but Sun Eater's sick. I don't actually like desperately need the hit because I'm probably gonna use consume food for it, but I'll go check it out because if it is defense and hit, that's wild. Maybe I'll even use it. But Sun Eater's sick. And then we have the Crest of the Shatar, which is the Shatar Exalted reputation item. It's got some sockets in there. Defense, block value is okay. And then we have the little Needle Shrike, which is mostly just there for hit. If I could have something with stamina on it, that would be cool too. But that's what we're cooking with for that one. Pretty decked out. We've been playing a lot. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun. Been hitting it. Very cool. In terms of my talents are not like the meta talents. And I was using Impale before, which is pretty dang good. And I may really consider going back Impale just for the raid, so I have better threat. But I would like to see how this goes. This in particular is like a heroic dungeon farming build. Some of the main things that make it specifically for heroics are it doesn't have deep wounds. So if you run with anything like a hunter or a mage and a pole gets weird, they can sheep anything and it's not bleeding, so the sheeps won't break, right? And I think that's really, really big, and that's been very, very helpful. To go through the Prot stuff real quick, we have Anticipation for more defense, we have Toughness for more armor, Max Shield Specialization for block chance and Rage on block, and this gives you another shield block charge and extra duration, which is insane. Last Stand, which is a nice defensive cooldown. Defiance, which is more threat generation, and Expertise, which is great. Sunder Armor is reducing the cost of Devastate. Just 1 point and improved Taunt to get down to some other talents like Concussion Blow, which is your on-demand stun, which is cool. Shield Slam, which is a huge threat and pretty good damage. Focused Rage is reducing the cost of your offensive abilities, which is tremendously fun and nice. Vitality is just big strength, big stam. Devastate is like a spammable, you know, Sunder that also does damage and ramps the damage as more Sunder stacks go on the target. This talent right here, Shield Mastery, is increasing the amount of damage absorbed by your shield. It's really not doing that much for me, but I left it in there. When I had different gear and I was getting more, like, block value, this was a bigger deal. Right now, it's not that much. It's knocking about, like, 200 damage off of a block, which is not the worst, but it's not that great either. Still helps, though. So, you take like 30% of that amount, and that's what you're left with. And it's like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but it's okay. It's okay. You could put more points in other stuff, like for heroic specifically. Improved revenge. I've played with this a little bit. It is really fun. Revenge having an up to 45% chance to stun the target is awesome. I really like it, but I'm like, against big mobs, against bosses, it doesn't do anything. So I just didn't keep it. But what we have here is Fury Tree is Cruelty, 5 out of 5. It's helping my crit chance recover from the shambles that it was in when I first swapped to like full defense gear. It was like 6% crit chance, and there's no way that you're playing Impale with 6% crit chance. So I was like, okay, whatever. 5 points there. I like improved Demo Shout, increases the melee attack power reduction of your Demo Shout by 40%. So just making all the hits you take that much more puny. So you do feel quite tanky as a Prot Warrior, which is fun. Deflection, parry chance. Obviously, if you parry something, it doesn't do damage to you. But even better, you get an auto attack right back at them instantly, which is great. I do like that. It's fun. And then we have improved Thunderclap, reducing the rage cost of Thunderclap by 4 rage points, making it do more damage. So it's like you can spam Thunderclap more frequently for the AoE threat, which is cool. Prot Warrior rotation is frequently, like once you get in rhythm, like in the beginning, like you gotta like struggle to get all your just the mobs to hit you. But once you get in rhythm, it's like Shield Slam, Revenge. Then you have 2 free globals. Single target, it could be Shield Slam, Revenge, Devastate, Devastate. But in AoE situations, it's like Shield Slam, Revenge, Thunderclap, and then maybe Demo Shout. But if you already have a Demo Shout up, you can like, you know, devastate something. But yeah, it feels really good to have that rotation, like once you get it flowing. And anyway, Thunderclap is part of that. So having it cost less rage is nice. So that combined with Focused Rage is making Thunderclap cost 13 rage. Your Devastate costs 9 rage. Revenge costs 2 rage. Even things like Intercept benefit from the offensive ability thing. So having your abilities cost a lot less rage feels really nice as a Prot Warrior. That's my talents that I have set up for now. Again, this is kind of like for heroic specifically. Let me see if there's any macros that are interesting that we can show you guys for Prot Warrior. A lot of the macros that I have are like, again, start attack is in everything. I even have shield block macroed in a couple things too. But mostly it's just making sure you have start attack and everything. Making things like, also if you have things that require stances, even the things that don't require stance, like I go D-stance for everything. So, like, for example, Devastate would be show tooltip Devastate. Devastates, it starts to attack, it puts you in D-stance, and also shield block. So, this can be a, like, you know, it's like a 19 rage cost thing. Shield block only costs 10 rage, though, so it's not a big deal. I also have shield block macroed in with Revenge. This is kind of a, you know, making sure that I have shield block up all the time. If you don't have shield block up all the time, you're gonna get harder, which is where you're gonna get hit harder, which is nice potentially for rage generation. But I mostly want to survive. That's my main thing. I'm new to tanking. I don't want to be getting one-shotted. I can worry about doing damage later. But we're working on it though. Sometimes in some of these dungeons we've been doing about 500 DPS. Watch out now. But anyway, puts you in D-stance, cast Revenge, starts your auto attack if it hasn't started yet, and then cast shield block. Right. My Shield Slam macro is very similar, right? Shield Slam, start attack, D-stance. I don't have shield block in this. These 2 little slashes mean that it will not activate this line. It's just too much rage. 17 rage plus 20 that's just too much. But I will activate it with Devastate, and I will activate it with Revenge. There's definitely some consideration to me not even putting shield block in the Devastate macro, and only putting it in Revenge. Just need to be mindful to press it more frequently. This kind of takes your brain out of it, which is nice when you're trying to figure out how to whack-a-mole all the threat as it pops up, right? Because as a Prot Warrior, again, you don't have like great threat, but yeah. Anyway, that's some of the macros that you might want to have. A couple things that make things easy. At one point, I was even doing a cast sequence with Demo Shout and Thunderclap, but I don't think I'm doing that right now. Because I want to press Thunderclap way more frequently than I want to press Demo Shout. Anyway, again, we do this periodically for every video that I've done so far, but we can go about my add-ons real quick. You can put start attack anywhere in the macro. You don't need to have it in there. But here we go. We're going through my add-ons really quickly, again, as we usually do. We have Attune, which tracks your attunement progress across all the dungeons and raids that you want to attune for. Auctionator is what I use for my auction stuff. Chattinator is just a nice little way to make your chat look different and more interactable. GTFO yells at you when you're standing and stuff. Mixed scrolling battle text. We'll have the little GSO pop-ups when we kill stuff. Nice damage is what I'm using to make my damage font look different. DBM, I swear doesn't work right now, but I have it on there anyway. Bug grabber is just so that LUA errors don't pop up on your screen and spam you. Baginator is what I use for my bags. You can use all one bag. You can make it kind of like sorted if you like, which I don't prefer that, but you can. Sometimes it's nice for like disenchanting stuff. Atlas loot is what I'm using to open up my little windows and look at all the different loot for all the different dungeons and raids and stuff, which is cool. We have Atlas maps for making the maps look different. We have Disenchant Buddy for showing all the little information about how much my my thunder would disenchant for. You can kind of make some you can kind of make some decisions of like, on average, this item disenchants for this much. Do I want to vendor it or do I want to sell it? You know, that kind of thing. Questy is the thing that puts all these little markers on the map for you, and it kind of messes with your quest log. It makes it a little bit easier to manage, but Questy is useful for that kind of questing that you're going to be doing. Dragonflight UI is the big one. Dragonflight UI does a lot of different stuff. It makes your nameplates look like this. Lets you kind of use edit mode, which TBC does have now, but it didn't have it before. It also does neat things like makes your talents all in one window. It makes your professions look a little bit more like Dragonflight. So a lot of things when people are like, yo, what's that add-on that's making it look like that? I'm pretty sure a lot of the times it's just Dragonflight UI changing things. Threat plates are the plates that I have above enemies' names. Blizz Move is an add-on I use that lets me move these windows around. I play it on an ultra-wide monitor, and so like if I was using it normally, my inventory would look like this to you guys on stream. We are making a video, yeah. Real quick. But this lets me move windows around, which I like a lot. I think it's also just convenient in general, but I use it specifically for the ultra-wide thing. Battleground enemies is kind of like the BG Gladius. It puts it off on the side. Big debuffs is what I'm using to show like interrupts and CCs on targets, or even in PvP when they pop up cooldowns. Capping is a cool add-on that lets you sort of see timers and BGs. Details is my damage meter. Gargle is like raid loot things. Item rack is something that I use to allow me to quickly swap items over here. I think item rack is still a little bit buggy. By the way, Dragonflight UI also does the equipment manager thing, but item rack does something similar if you're interested in that. Leatrix maps is messing with my maps. Loon best in slot is one of the things I'm using to like look at loot, but I haven't really gotten into it too much, but it is kind of interesting. I think the TBC Abyss is what's doing like the tooltip stuff for the Abyss loot. Nova World Buffs is like showing me things about layers and whatnot. World Buffs are not as big of a deal now, thankfully. Twitch emotes is like a way that you can have like little Twitch emotes show up in your WoW chat, which is funny. Weakauras has a billion different things. What's training shows you like what you can train if you open up your little window. I can't really train anything now, but it has this little button right here when you're leveling. It'll show you what you can train. We have trained these things. I'm just not currently spec'd for them, so that it's not available. But Weakauras, when it comes to Weakauras, we have a few of them, and I will put them in the description for you guys. So this is just a loot reminder to loot your Badge of Justice. I could drop that in there for you. I think we already have a big compiled list of my Weakauras, but we'll put that too. The CC replica Weakaura is this thing. Extra attack is the lightsaber whenever we have Wind Fury proccing and whatever else. This is putting target names on nameplates. My target doesn't work right, but this does. Overpower, I'm making this little shiny thing under my overpower button for that. Overpower on nameplate sometimes works properly, sometimes it doesn't. I think I can like pull it up on top of the nameplate and maybe that would work better. Swing timer is just a Weakaura for tracking my weapon swing timer. Layer swap is useful sometimes, but I'm mostly just looking for layers in general chat now. Sorry, let me pull the Weakauras thing on the screen for you. HP bar, yeah, that's Dragonflight UI. Yep. We have Victory Rush, same kind of thing. It's just showing Victory Rush with the timer. I had to drag it on top of my Victory Rush thing, but there's that. Execute is kind of just making another one that just makes it kind of shiny under my execute button. When execute's not bound there, it looks kind of weird, but that's okay. The battle shot reminder is just kind of bouncing around when you don't have a battle shot up. And then this is my mace stun Weakaura as well. Is there anything else that we need? Yeah, we had some Fury stuff too. I think the only one that I hadn't had on the thing yet was maybe the Badge of Justice one. But them's the Weakauras. I'll drop those in the description of the video for you as well. Is there anything else we need to know about Prot Warrior? Again, the rotation is one thing. I posted a lot of videos and I'm doing a lot of streaming with Prot if you guys want to see what I'm doing. But again, a lot of it's just like threat whack-a-mole, where I have the threat plates settings. All I've done is enable the threat widget. I used to not use this. So I had the general settings, I just turned the thing on, and then I think scale, I don't let it mess with the scale of it, but whenever something is green, it means I have threat. Whenever it's yellow, it's like, ooh, you're losing threat, and then when it's red, you don't have threat. Blue is when the off-tank has threat. But you don't want anything to turn anything but green. So you're constantly kind of like tabbing through shield slamming, devastating, revenging, or the big like single target rage abilities, or so not rage, but single target threat abilities, and then thunderclapping in between. So shield slam, revenge, 2 globals, you know, devastate, devastate, and then if you have AOE situations, shield slam, revenge, thunderclap, devastate. Like that could be it. You know, things like demo shout do give threat. A lot of things that give you threat, like your shouts give you threat, but they're not gonna like rip threat back, right? So you can use taunts, of course. Didn't even mention taunt. Of course, like if something's not on you, it turns red, taunt it. And you can also concussion blow anything that's not on you. You know, it's running at your teammates, concussion blow. Intervene over to your teammates and taunt things off of them, things like that. Prot Warrior has some cool mobility. It's pretty fun. But that's what I'm cooking up with my Prot Warrior. We got Kara tonight. So far, heroics have been pretty smooth. I think once we get some Kara gear, heroics are going to get even more smooth. And where can we copy paste the Weakauras? They'll be in the description of the video. I have 2 versions of this on YouTube already. You know, like a Fury build, a Fury Prot build kind of thing. And then we will post this one this morning. And we'll show you guys what we're cooking with. But I think that goes over our gear, goes over my talents. Just a little bit of discussion about rotation. I think I showed you the enchants that I have on my guy. These are not bis enchants, but like I just put strength on gloves. You eventually want threat on gloves. I put strength on bracers. You eventually want stamina on bracers. I put health on chest. You probably eventually want stats on chest. I put my helm enchant as the defense and dodge. And shoulders eventually would probably just be, I mean, I guess attack power. I don't know if there's defense related enchants from Aldor, but maybe. For the legs, we've got stam and agility. For boots, we've got stam. Eventually, I'll enchant my rings with the enchanting bonuses for weapon damage, but whatever. For now, we got Crusader on Sun, or we got, yeah, Crusader on the Sun Eater. Maybe eventually we'll go Mongoose. And for shield, I just got stam on it. That pretty much, I think, covers everything. Any like quick questions? Obviously, we're like doing Q&A constantly on stream, which I enjoy. But yeah, any other questions in particular? It's like FAQs. Because if not, we'll just get this video going, and you guys are more than welcome to drop any questions that you have in the just in the chat, in the comment section of the YouTube video. I will also make a little update on my arms build, although we do have some arms PvP videos from last TBC already. It might be kind of fun to still show you my gear. Why Sun over Latros? I don't know, it's purple. it gives me defense. Like, I need the defense. But yeah, this build seems less aggressive than I thought. Yeah, I mean, I'm new to tanking, so I'm interested primarily in not being dead, hitting the defense breakpoints, so yeah. This is what I'm doing for arms talents, but yeah, I have old videos about arms that would probably be better. Sun over Latro? No, it's more like I need the defense. This helps me finish my defense up. But when I'm dual wielding, I'll do Latros, yeah. Indeed. Tanking Midnight? We'll see. I might. It's kind of fun. We'll see. We'll see. But alright. That'll be good for now, boys. Hopefully that helps. We are going to continue our morning on stream doing stuff. Maybe doing some heroics, and then we'll be back 7 p.m. PST is raid time, so that'll be fun. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the stream. Make sure that you guys show this some love. We can watch the animated short again, too, if you want. While we're here doing videos, we can do it. We can do it. But anyway, we'll get this up on the YouTubes for you guys. Get you a nice little heroic spec, some gear to look out for, and then get ready for Kara. GG.